Hi everyone, in today's lesson we're going to talk about how to find the determinant of a 3 by 3 matrix and a triangular matrix. So if A is a square matrix of order 3 by 3 or greater, then the determinant of A is the sum of the entries in any row or column of A multiplied by their respective cofactors. So if I want to find the determinant of A, I could take the whole first row, A1, A12, and A all the way up to N, and multiply it by their respective cofactors. And I add them together, and that gives me the determinant. Applying this definition to find the determinant is also called expanding by cofactors. So what that means is that I can expand any row or any column, and I should get the same determinant. So let's expand the first row, and then we'll expand the first column, and you'll expand the second row and the second column, and they should be the same. So I'll leave these two as homework. Okay, you may need to do them on a separate sheet of paper unless you can fit it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the first row expansion. So if this is the first row, it helps if you rewrite the matrices. So I'm going to write these 3 different times. We need to find C11, we need to find C12, and we need to find C13. So I'm just going to rewrite the matrix 3 times. Okay, so C11 means first row, first column. So I'm going to wipe out, here's the element, I'm going to wipe out everything in that row. And I'm going to take the determinant of what's left. So negative 1 times 1 minus 0 times 2. So this is negative 1 minus 0, which is negative 1. Now I'm going to do the same thing here. I've got C12, so first row, second column. So I'm going to wipe out this and this. I'm going to take the determinant of what's left. So 3 times 1 minus 4 times 2. So that's 3 minus 8, which is negative 5. Now I'm going to find C13, which is first row, third column. So I'm going to wipe that all out, and I will take the determinant. So 3 times 0 minus 4 times negative 1. So 0 plus 4 is 4. So these are actually all of the minors. In order to find the cofactors, we actually have to remember that plus and minus chart. So remember, it starts plus minus plus, minus plus minus, plus minus plus. So C11, first row, first column, is a plus, so this one will stay. C12, first row, second column, that's a negative. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply this by a negative 1. And then C13 is first row, third column, that stays positive. And we're going to now multiply these cofactors with their respective entries. So we're going to multiply this negative 1 by 0, and we're going to add that. So we have negative 1 times 0, which is negative 1. Then we're going to add that to, well, this becomes a positive 5. That's the cofactor. So positive 5 times 2. So positive 5 times 2, which is 10. And then the last one is we're going to take 4 and multiply it by 1. So 4 times 1, which is 14. Oh, excuse me, when I multiply this, I just realized negative 1 times 0. This gives me 0, so this goes away. So now to find the determinant of matrix A, so to find the determinant, we're just going to add these together. So 0 plus 10 plus 14 should equal 14. Okay, so now I'm going to try the same thing, except now I'm going to do the first column expansion. So again, I want to find C11 Then I'm going to find C2, 1, and C3, 1. So I'm just going to rewrite the matrix 3 times. Okay, so the first column is this column right here. So we're going to circle the first row, first column. Then we're going to circle the second row, first column. Wipe everything else out. Third row, first column. Wipe everything out. Okay, so we actually already found C11 from before, but let's do it again. We want to find the determinant. So negative 1 times 1 minus 0 times 2. So negative 1 minus 0 is negative 1. Here I'll take the determinant. 2 times 1 minus 0 times 1. So 2 minus 0 is 2. Here I'll take the determinant. So 2 times 2 minus negative 1 times 1. So 4 minus a negative 1 is 5. And now we have to remember our signs. So remember, it's plus, minus, plus. So this first one is a 0, and it's going to stay positive. The second one is a negative, so we can go ahead and put a negative here. So this is a negative 2. This third one, so it's plus, minus, plus, plus, minus, plus. So this can stay 5. And now we're going to multiply it by the respective elements. So we're going to take this negative 1 and multiply it by 0. Then negative 2 by 3. So negative 2 by 3. And then 5 by 4. And let's do some math. So when we multiply these we get 0, negative 6, and 20. And to find the determinant of matrix A, we're just going to add 0, negative 6, and 20. And when you add them together, you should get 14. So I'd like you to try these two problems, the third column expansion and the second row expansion, and see if you get 14 each time. And now I'd like to move on to triangular matrices. Okay. A triangular matrix is a square matrix with all 0 entries either below or above its main diagonal. To find the determinant of a triangular matrix of any order, simply take the product of all of the elements on the main diagonal of the matrix. So simply take the product of all the elements on the main diagonal of the matrix. We have 3 different types of triangular matrices. We have an upper triangular matrix where all of the zeros are below the main diagonal. So if you see here, here's the main diagonal. All of the zeros are below and all of the numbers are above it. A lower triangular matrix is when all of the zeros are above the main diagonal. So if you see here, here's the main diagonal. All of the zeros are above. And then we have something called the diagonal matrix where all of the zeros are both above and below the main diagonal. So if I want to find the the determinant of a triangular matrix, we're just going to multiply all of the numbers on the main diagonal. So here is my main diagonal for here, my upper triangular matrix. So we're going to multiply 2 times 3 times 3 times 1. So this is 6 times 3 times 1. So this should give me 18. Multiply for this, we're going to multiply all of the numbers on the main diagonal. So that gives me 45. And the last one, we're going to multiply all of the numbers on the main diagonal. So we have 9 times 4 times 7 times negative 2. So this is 36, and this is negative 14. So if you take 36 and multiply it by 14, you will get your determinant. So the answer is negative 504. Okay, so what I'd like you to do now is name the type of matrix that you have here, and then determine the determinant. And these will be homework as well, and I will check those tomorrow in class. All right, have a good night.